too, and my neighbors are jamming. Can't be mad at them. Oh. Shit. I can't broadcast to YouTube because they'll copyright strike me again.
Yeah.
And then if they copyright strike me again...
You'll be on the bad list.
Yeah, and then they won't let me post anything. For like a week, I think. But, alright.
Your first offense.
Hopefully this is working. If it's not, I apologize because I'm beyond frustrated right now. Technology is not our friends, but as promised at tea time, I am back. We are broadcasting on Twitch, Periscope, and Facebook, so feel free to comment on one of those. This is my dear co-host Bill Octor, also known as Archaeologist on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and Twitch.
And yeah.
So, tip. Yeah, so there we go. And today we are watching the second episode of The Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch. Last episode, actually I might back this up so people can catch up on the crazy crap that did not happen last episode. All my viewers ran away. That's right, you run away. Everybody runs away.
I'll show them.
Oh, will you?
That's what you get for trying to watch us.
Right. I guess we won't be recording this, so I hope Twitch records it. Alright, so anyway, we're going to watch this from the beginning. I have not sped this up because, as far as I know, Bill doesn't like watching things at 3 million speed, so... We're going to watch this in real time, people. Be prepared.
All of a sudden, you...
Wait. What'd you say?
You sped it up last week because it seemed like it took forever.
Oh, I did speed it up last week, didn't I? I changed my mind. I am going to speed it up. Maybe.
So for those who are watching, which wouldn't...
Currently isn't many.
Which you wouldn't have seen us with the first video because that's not coming out until a few days after this. It has to do... It's really secret. Well, I'm currently hiding in the control room.
Yes.
On Skinwalker Ranch. Last week, first episode, I was just outside the gates.
Right.
I managed to infiltrate, get past Dragon.
Dragon.
And I'm in the room, and I'm looking for other boxes. And you will know what I'm talking about once the actual show starts.
Ah, the boxes. Yeah. Well, hopefully the previously will get us caught up, but in the meantime, if the audio gets too loud for you to maintain your secrecy, Bill, let me know.
Okay,
and
I'll let you know.
We'll just wish you good luck. I was just checking the chat to make sure it was... Excuse me, nobody's being missed. Alright. So, and I am filming from clearly just outside of these wonderful ruins. I'm going to say this is structure or homestead C on the ranch. So this is homestead C is going to be our HQ. I also think it's the haunted one.
If you watched us last week, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, and I apologize that these are behind as they are, but YouTube won't let me live stream live reactions to History Channel shows because of copyright, and I can't afford to have a copyright strike this early in my channel's career, so If you want to rewatch this on YouTube later, it will be posted, but it will be edited. So if you want the full experience, you gotta watch it now. All right, are we all set?
Just as you're seeing right here, you're not watching the entire show without us talking over it.
Oh yeah, there will be plenty of talking and adjusting of the screen.
Previously.
Are we ready? Ready?
Let's go.
Investigate this area known as Skinwalker Ranch. We've verified and documented everything from UFO sightings to these columns of light above the mesa and even cattle mutilations. Look at that.
What's up?
I couldn't hear anything.
What fixed it last time?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I heard it before, but when it started going faster, the sound didn't transfer.
Of course not.
It was going beyond the speed of sound.
Of course it is. No, that's just going to pick up everything and create an echo. Echo.
Microwaves like that.
Can you hear it now?
If you want a phenomenon to manifest itself, you go and dig something. When you
Oh, shit. God damn it. Can you understand it?
Travis Taylor, I was invited to.
Could I understand it last time?
Do you need me to slow it down? Because I will.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Investigate this area known as Skinwalker Ranch. We've verified and documented everything from UFO sightings to these columns of light above the mesa and even cattle mutilations. Let's go up the mountain. Look at that. Microwaves like that.
What did the cattle do?
If you want a phenomenon to manifest itself, you go and dig something. When you dig, bad stuff happens.
One day I was digging, my scalp was separated from my skull.
You're in the apartment? I have to unequivocally say, no digging.
Okay, so the guy saying no digging is Dragon. He's no dig Dragon.
No dig dragon.
I really liked that from last episode, so. Alright. Questions, comments before we get into the new episode?
Hold on. I need to see the pop some wires.
You're having too much fun with this. I appreciate it.
All right, let's go.
Alright, let's do this. Maybe. God damn it. I got too many windows open. That's the real problem here. Too many windows.
There's a ranch in northern Utah. It is considered the epicenter
like
of the
northeast
strangest
Utah.
and most disturbing phenomenon on Earth. Animal mutilations, bizarre UFO sightings, and unusual energies that have proven harmful to humans. For 20 years,
There is no correlation established at any point in last episode to connect any of those things that they just made it sound like are all connected, because they're not. And that was a really cute editing trick that they just pulled, but none of that crap has been connected or shown to correlate in any way, shape, or form. Just FYI.
federal government tried to find answers and failed. Now, a new team of dedicated scientists, researchers, and experts has taken over. They are determined to solve the mystery and reveal
What's the mystery? We don't really quite know what the mystery is.
That's the mystery.
Hey, Brandon. Greetings, team. I'm glad that you passed me in, and I'm wondering how the investigation is progressing.
Wow, this really is just going to be a
One of the first things
replay.
the guys want to do is they want to dig. You know, I'm not sure I'm comfortable.
I'll be right back,
with that.
but keep watching.
There are certain risks
Okay.
you just haven't been properly briefed on.
Well, we need to be briefed on that data then.
I understand. Eric, show them what is in the case. Regrettably, I have to go to a meeting, so I'll look for your update later. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brandon.
Okay.
Regrettably, I have to run away because they didn't pay me enough to be in this
I came
scene.
in to say, look, guys, we're going to follow the scientific method. You can't keep data away from the experiment and not show the rest of the team in order for it to be a good experiment.
I feel like they need like the Imperial March
So what I'm
here.
going to show you may offer an explanation for some of what we've been seeing on the property. You'll understand as soon as I open this up. You might recognize it. It's the very large neodymium magnet.
It's like a China syndrome of magnets.
Yes, it's capable of exerting quite a bit of force.
Yeah, I mean, you can lose a finger under a magnet like that.
Yeah.
Neodymium magnet is a magnet that's made out of neodymium, iron, and boron, and is a really powerful magnet. But when Eric opens up this case and he shows us this magnet, I'm looking at this thinking, what does this have to do with not digging on the ranch?
I'm confused. Comments? How does the
You know
machinery...
what? I am surprised.
Fair. That is
It
fair.
did surprise me.
Yep. Yeah, I was not expecting a giant magnet.
importance of this object gives us a way to reproduce some of the effects that we've seen on the property ongoing.
How did you reproduce the effect?
I can actually show it to you.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Now, these guys have seen it, but if you'd like, we can go in.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that. Sure.
But it doesn't look like the scientist knows what you're talking about either.
So, guys, what you see right there, that's actually a still shot from a video that I made the first time I came to this ranch.
From your phone?
From the phone. When I went to the top of the mesa, I was getting an artifact like this. It was when we got down to Homestead 2, it finally cleared up and I was able to take another picture. So the question I have is, well, what would it take to make that happen?
Right.
Can I reproduce that effect?
Before I came to Skinwalker Ranch, I'd heard that in addition to UFO sightings and animal mutilations, there are also a lot of strange electrical phenomena, like cell phones and electronics that just suddenly wouldn't work.
Down here on the countertop, what I've got is a second magnet. This fixture lets us do this in a more controlled fashion. We're gonna
This guy just likes making things. That's like his shtick. He's the builder.
Well, he's the physicist. He's the.
No, he's the PI.
Oh,
Now this guy's the PI.
oh, he's a PI.
He has no qualifications as far as I'm aware.
A geophysicist.
Oh, he is a geophysicist.
No. They need one.
Yeah, they do. And an
Because
archaeologist.
If they suspect there's magnetic activity in the landform, they could have tested it on the landform.
But then he wouldn't have been able to build his contraption to house this giant magnet. How is that not wiping all of the shit in that room? How is that magnet not screwing this shit up?
I have no idea. It also makes me wonder, all they did was Google, what could mess up my digital camera?
Right?
And they got the first thing on there, most likely it would be some sort of electromagnetic activity. They didn't
Ghosts.
bother to read the other 10 or 20 reasons.
Well, I can't get a phone signal out here in the middle of nowhere, where we've already established there's no booster signal. There's no booster towers to get the signal to your phone.
Change your batteries, maybe there's software that needs an update.
Maybe you just suck at taking pictures on your phone.
Maybe you suck at taking pictures.
Man.
watch the effect show up on this guy. This phone. All right. All right. Now, look, you're going to go through a position.
You hold it at the position.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Right
There
there.
we go.
There it is. Right there. So I can make it happen.
Okay.
Very cool, Eric. So I'm on the phone, Eric. You move the map.
And so what I'm seeing is that when I go through a certain point, I'll get the effect.
Well, that's interesting. Now, I'm curious to find out where Eric is going with all this. Now, does he think there's some giant magnet buried under the
R.I.P. your phone, man.
ground that's causing some of these strange phenomena?
I know.
Is that why he and the other guys are afraid to dig?
Pretty interesting, right?
Yeah, very interesting. Not exactly sure what it all means just yet.
Yeah. And what has given me pause is whatever is generating the malfunction on our devices is related to your injury and to the other unpleasant experiences that people have had on this property. A couple of years ago,
You have no reason to correlate any of those things.
I'm still in the control room, and I'm trying to see where they got that from.
That giant leap or the giant magnet?
The giant leap.
It's in another box. Keep looking for the box. There's got to be another case or box around there somewhere.
Been warned not to dig on this ranch, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous. So I paid zero attention to it, and I ended up getting very, very sick, hospitalized. I had fluid that separated the fatty tissue from my skull. And to this day, my doctors still haven't come up with an explanation.
So I'll tell you, I applaud that you've looked for something that you can do in a controlled manner and reproduce something that you've seen.
Thank
Now,
you.
here's the thing. I've yet to hear anything tell me that this magnetic field thing is a reason not to dig.
So I think we have not ruled out the possibility that we have something active beneath the surface of this property. We have some evidence, at least, to support the idea that there may be a magnetic field generating device or devices or something located on or beneath this property, or perhaps above it. So until we have
Above
done
it,
all the
even.
non-invasive work, I don't think we're ready to start digging.
That's more my mindset. There's no data that's been on the table that tells us digging is correlated to anything that causes events.
But a lot of the things bad happen more often when you dig. Look, we're just trying to do the best that we can,
Oh, I get it.
and without getting people.
They're literally
I
not talking
appreciate
about
that.
anything.
Do what?
They're not talking about anything.
It's gonna be like this again. I mean, remember the last 10, 15 minutes of show? Yes, last time was like this. It's like watching a D&D group try to decide how they're going to infiltrate something.
Yeah, this This is just watching D&D groups plan.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not do anything, just plan.
They're just planning. They're just checking and making sure they've all got their skill sets and the stuff that they need and asking the GM questions.
And you're arguing over whether or not they can climb over a 12-foot hole or a 10-foot hole. What, do they have the right kind of rope? Is it hemp or is it cotton?
Do they need a ladder? Will the ladder help? Because he's got a ladder.
Well, you remember the last time we tried to go break into a house, I fell off the wall.
Yeah.
I don't want to fall off the wall again.
I am interested to see how the machine gun welding droid is going to work. Drone. I'm coming up with ideas on how that can screw up, so just FYI, my players. Oh, you weren't there for Droney, that's right. You haven't met Droney there. Friday.
I think we're all closer to the same point than we realize. Eric,
We are?
if we set out and we do all of these different tests and use those to guide us as to a point that we could dig, would you feel comfortable with that?
I think that's the approach that I'm advocating.
Sure. I like that.
Yeah, I'm confident we've exhausted all the options, the non-invasive options.
Let's do something.
We talked about it enough. I mean, let's figure out what we're doing. What is our first step? What are we going to do, like, tomorrow?
Okay, that's fair enough.
I think the first thing that's got to be done, just from a safety standpoint, is we need some experts to come in here to do a full sweep of the ranch for safety, measure radiological and RF and microwaves on the whole ranch. Let's make sure that it's safe just to be here. We're not getting slow cooked or something.
Yeah, we can do
Slow
that.
cooked.
You know, we've got people that can come to the ranch, do a full sweep of radio frequency, radiation tomorrow.
That sounds great to me. What do you guys think?
Let's do it.
Sounds good? Well, let's
Wait,
go.
so they have somebody on tap that could do this for them and they've never done it?
And they literally have spent 18 minutes of TV time on that sit around the table screen. 10 minutes last episode.
Yeah.
8 minutes this episode.
Aren't you glad I sped it up? Can you imagine sitting through that in real time? Anyway, all right, Skinwalker Ranch.
Like, producing TV, every minute matters.
Clearly not.
So how many people actually have access to the ranch?
Very few.
No.
We do our very best to try to keep...
They have a dog running alongside that thing, barking at them.
So, actually today, it's got the team out there doing a radiation sweep and the RF sweep.
Good. Following our discussion at the command center yesterday, we invited 2 different companies up to the ranch. The first will look for dangerous levels of radiation, and the second will look for microwaves. Now, if everything checks out, then we'll be safe to conduct some more focused experiments and find out where the strange electromagnetic energy on the ranch is coming from.
If both of those two groups come up with nothing, doesn't that just nullify all of the arguments that they've made to this point?
Maybe it's at such a level they can't be detected by our mere human technology.
But then why is it messing up our human technology? Clearly it's being detected.
Cell phones, cameras are awesome. Cameras are universal. That's the first sign of intelligent life.
Is they fuck up your camera?
That's why. That's what they. Well, did UFOs show up before the camera? You don't have any pictures of it, do you?
Okay. There's a logic there somewhere.
Have I mentioned I haven't eaten or slept in the last 3 days in this little control room?
I told you, save your urine. You can be drinking, you can have like a cup of it a day. You'll be fine.
It's over there in the corner. I can bring it over just to show.
I could bring it over. I've been saving it for you. It's terrifying.
We're going to continue to head across the ranch. Can you see the old building? This is what we call Homestead 2.
Not where we're at. We're at Homestead 3.
Where I've even personally witnessed some shadow figures. I've heard voices on multiple occasions. I've had individuals with me that heard the voices too. The interesting
There
thing
is no
I have
paperwork,
idea
Joe.
whether it's an actual audible voice or something that's playing out in my head. It was as if someone was standing right in front of me, talking to me, telling me to either stop what I was doing or to leave.
This guy
What are
is...
you doing? One or the other.
He is very suggestive. Suggestible. And he seems primed to believe any supernatural whatever, because everything for him has been something supernatural.
I'm concerned, because isn't he the one who was had the head injury?
Yeah, that's the head injury guy.
So I'm worried that somebody might take advantage of him. We don't know the extent of the head injury.
I mean, it was swelling under the skin. Nothing happened to his brain.
Well, that would have been still put pressure, potentially have put pressure on the brain.
No, because it was on the outside of the skull.
I'm trying to come up with an excuse. All right.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Onward we go. I apologize.
Now, is this all Indian reservation part of the ranch here, or is this part of the other property?
You tried to just right up on top of this hill right
Oh,
here.
okay.
The fascinating thing is there's a lot of Native Americans that to this day, they tell us that they look to the east, they won't even acknowledge that the ranch exists.
That's strange.
All of
The
them.
Navajos actually have
Oh, there he
storied
goes.
past. They originally started off as allies and trading partners, and then as generations went on, relationships started to become strained. So much so that
Gee, I wonder why the relationship became strained.
Maybe why I wonder why they wouldn't want to acknowledge the ranch.
Being built on their sacred land. Funny stories, these.
And it was
Those,
usurping stories for their own financial gain.
yeah. How dare they be offended?
the government sent soldiers out to the southwest to protect the white settlers from the Navajo tribe. The Ute tribe joined forces with the soldiers, and as retribution, the Navajos actually cursed this land with evil spirits known as skinwalkers, which are evil entities that can take many different forms or shapes.
Those pesky, pesky Navajo getting all uppity because them white people want to live on their land without being invited and push them off their land. And then how dare they put a curse? Of course they put a curse on there because there's no other... If it wasn't a curse, it was going to be a Native American burial ground. And I'll bet you they'll still find a way to like, work that into the story.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway.
So, where's the north border on the other side of the mesa? How far does it go?
Just to about that back cliff over there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just short of it.
Huh. It looks different from the...
John, you call me?
Yeah, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, the sinkhole doing this radiation sweep. You guys should get just straight over here. He found some crazy stuff you're gonna see.
Where are they? Why aren't they with the survey groups?
While Tom Winterton and I are taking a tour of the ranch, we get this emergency call, and it's from the team that's up on the mesa scanning for harmful levels of radiation and microwaves.
All right, we will head straight over there. You'll see us soon.
I thought they were looking for microwaves or radiation. I thought there were two teams. One was looking for one was looking for the other. And why are they taking a tour of the ranch? Why aren't they with the people doing the survey? Like...
And do the people doing the survey not have their own precautions?
Or radios?
My first thought was whether or not the guy was getting the kinds of crazy readings we measured yesterday when we were up on the mesa.
He didn't measure crazy readings.
Oh, that's a significant amount of energy right there. We found electromagnetic radiation that could be harmful to humans. Oh! And it's shifted now. Now it's going in that direction. And it's all radiation. Yes.
Oh yeah, what they're not what they're not reminding people of anymore is that this particular location is immediately in the drift zone of the atomic tests from the 1950s? 40s?
It was throughout the 50s, yeah, so late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah, so they're actually downwind of all of that fallout. So there's literally radioactive fallout in the area, like where they're at. They've conveniently stopped mentioning that again. But anyway.
We gotta walk from here on.
Yeah, okay.
Well, at least Joe is entertained, and that makes me happy. Seriously, I'm glad you're entertained. Keep talking
The
to
sinkhole
us.
driver, obviously Thomas knows. These guys picked up stuff I thought you guys would be interested in seeing yourselves.
Wow.
Look, it's a hole in the ground.
Look, that's you down in there. How far does it go? It goes down. Quite a ways. We get up there, and there's a hole in the ground. It's kind of like a little cave, and it's big enough for 3 or 4 people to get down in.
This one is interesting just because air flows out of it and things like that.
Yeah, you can feel it.
It's called a
We had a few
cave.
people that climbed down in that hole and experienced some pretty extreme vertigo and nauseousness.
So you knew it was there.
It's a spot that I found one day when I was hiking up above Homestead 2. And the thing that made it remarkable the first time I found it was there is a cavity that continues down. We've been trying to figure out how far down there it goes. And it was just blasting cold air, just like an air conditioner. Myself, as well as several other individuals that I was there to witness, have had experiences when we climbed down inside that hole. You know, I kind of shrugged it off as heat stroke at the time, but then other individuals that we've taken up there since then have experienced the same thing.
Jeff is with Semper, and he's measuring radio wave frequencies and things like
Why are we
that. Travis and
talking
Casey are with
about
Qualtech.
If he already knew what this was.
there's if I yeah, right, exactly.
Landform. It appears to be created of a lot of broken bolt.
I mean, I don't doubt that it's a cave.
But you can easily imagine there's going to be cracks enough for air.
I mean,
because it's pores. I mean, they're all just sort of on top of each other.
Yeah, and if
there are going to be cavities.
Yeah, and the air underneath the air in the ground is going to be colder than the air in the desert because it's going to be colder in general. There's a reason why we used to store food in caves because it's naturally colder. We're not going to
like the feelings of vertigo. It gets a million different reasons.
I mean, it could be bad air. There's a reason why they used to take canaries into coal mines. The air can be bad, and that means it's just like trapped gases. So yeah, you're probably inhaling something you shouldn't be smelling, like, I don't know, methane. You know, grrr.
They're doing a full radiation sweep. All right.
We're also, while we're in there, looking for VOCs and other chemicals,
Such as?
such as nerve agents or toxic chemicals.
Okay.
And we actually got a really high hit on our VOC levels, about 3,600 parts per billion, which is a really high abnormality.
Dangerous level or just high?
Dangerous levels, certainly. That was a real quick hit. It was almost as if there was a ventilation that plume. We got a reading off of that, and then disappeared.
Really?
Yep.
That's intriguing. There are all sorts of volatile organic compounds like formaldehyde, benzene, but this sinkhole is pretty far away from anything man-made, so the presence here is really strange.
The bot level, I thought that was significant. 3,700 parts per billion.
It was very concerning.
Well, let me ask you this. Did you take the RF meter down inside?
I haven't been down in there yet.
But it'd be interesting to see if you're getting anything in there, RF-wise. What if I go down in there with you? You guys think it's safe to go down in there, right? I mean, it was transient, right?
We'll keep an air monitor with you so we can make sure there isn't any air displacement, oxygen displacement.
All right, well, let's go down in there and see.
So it's not a problem.
Basically.
Because if there was, they wouldn't let it in.
Basically.
We want to send in the O2 sensor first. Makes the most safety sense.
I think that's smart. I like not dying.
Yeah, an O2 sensor.
Since nobody in here is practicing good safety.
Yeah, there's no safety gear at all involved in this, and yeah, no. Also, a CO2 sensor is detecting carbon monoxide, which is odorless and will knock your ass out. It can kill you if you inhale too much of it. So basically, everything Bill and I just said, they just repeated in their own way, and this is nothing. Like, you can have holes that aren't man-made. That's a thing that can happen in nature.
And you can look at a hole, and it looks like it's the same air as you have out here, but it could be different.
Yeah. This is the same area they drill for uranium, people. I mean, there's nothing they have said here is surprising. If you understand the area and the natural landscape, there's nothing surprising happening here. But they're sure playing it up like there is.
So even though we're kind of in a desert region, so far this show is a really big fishing expedition.
Right?
Because they are not looking for anything in particular.
No, and they're just kind of all over the place. And there's nothing systematic about this. Like, they didn't, as far as I know, there's no grid. They're not recording this data, or they haven't mentioned how they're recording it and how they're going to use it later. There's no, like Bill was saying, there's no safety gear here. I don't understand. They're not even wearing gloves, which would be the first thing I would have put on before I went into a cave. And if there's weird gases at lethal levels that are coming out of a hole, why aren't you taking in a ventilator or a breathing mask or something to keep you from dying? So clearly this is all just a bunch of BS.
It's unfortunate, the kind of thing you see in these shows. Endangerment theater.
Yeah, but it can't be that dangerous because, like, legally they would be responsible if something were to happen, so there's no way that they would do that. So it's completely safe.
That's why it's theater.
Anyway. We're almost halfway through this.
Can I jump in and make sure O2 sensors are really good?
I like having the air quality sensor in there for sure.
Ooh, it makes noises.
All right, bring it on in.
Ooh, up over there so you
People call them
can
up
see down the side of that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, anyone brought a flashlight, you can see, you got one? Your phone will work, that's what they're made for, right?
Oh, wow.
You know, there's no telling how far that thing goes down in there.
If anything coming out of there, yeah, that's right.
I agree, Joe. There is no binder held together by duct tape and prayers.
I'm seeing only background levels here, but when I put the antenna down by the hole, I clearly see some spikes forming. I've got some for sure.
Sure do.
Yeah.
So right.
The dude holding the thing almost looked like he was smiling, like he knows how ridiculous this is.
If I hold this down by the source of the gas, it suddenly spikes. Uh-huh. That's what happens. Do you know what kind of... Have they figured out what kind of gas it is yet? So
Well,
just...
they were talking about stuff like benzene, I think they had mentioned,
Benzene.
and some other ones, and it could be natural, or is it not natural, and how did it get here?
Oh, and I think he's actually holding a binder.
Ooh,
There you go,
that's
Joe.
data.
He's got a binder. Where's my pointer? Binder! This is gonna be like the backpack alert. Dude, none of them have backpacks.
So you know they're not serious.
Scott Walter would be ashamed. Ashamed.
Exactly.
The opening? Right at the opening when I put the antenna down in there. Okay, Eric, we're on preset.
What was that?
Let me ask you a question real quick, guys. Did any of y'all feel swimmy headed at all?
Swimmy headed?
You feeling it?
I don't know. Slightly, I felt like I was not holding my balance well for a second there, so I put my hand over on the rock.
So you
I'm feeling it
bent
now.
over, you got up quick,
Can you change
and all
any
of a sudden
oxygen?
light
So, yeah, that's what I was wondering.
No, I was consistent.
Sure, it's weird. It feels weird.
Gee, somebody suggested that you might feel lightheaded when you go into the little tiny hole. And now you're feeling lightheaded now that you're in the little tiny hole, even though none of the sensors are reading anything weird. Suggestive?
What? And they got over reading the RF thing when they were touching the hole. Okay. I've used metal detectors. It's another device looking for electromagnetic.
True.
Now, when I'm using them on the ground, if I hit something, like whether it's a stick or my foot or a stone, for a brief moment, the machine will act like it got a reading.
Because you're messing with the calibration by knocking it against something.
Because you smacked it.
Yeah. Ye old technical tap.
That's why those devices, those RF devices, are meant to be held up.
Not down.
Because they're looking for RF signatures for like cell towers and
Yeah.
other antennas.
Now that you mention that, why are they taking it in there? There's nothing for it to read.
Well, yeah, there's also another weird thing of why would we suspect that RF signatures are emanating from the ground
Oh, well,
rather than maybe coming from an outside source?
because in Alaska, no, Antarctica, sorry, in Antarctica, I learned this on Ancient Aliens. In Antarctica, there's a hole in the ground that you can clearly see from satellites and could be nothing else except man-made that apparently has radio signals coming out of it as if they are being broadcasted.
Is that where the jungle is, where the dinosaurs live?
Honestly, yes. That was also explored in an Ancient Aliens episode.
I just want to make sure we were on the same page.
Yes, we are on the same page, and so is Ancient Aliens. And apparently so are these people.
Geniuses.
They are clearly doing the whole there must be buried aliens to be producing this signal. Anyway, onward.
Yeah, my knees are starting to tremble.
Then get out of the damn hole.
That's not
Christ, you're like those guys who won't drink water when we're working.
That was weird.
Well, that's it too.
I
Where's
feel
your
like
water
I just worked out. I
supply?
didn't eat for it. It feels weird.
Are any of you other guys feeling anything bad down there at all?
No, I just felt like I was going to bomb. Dude, I will tell you, my phone battery just went.
Your battery's dead on your phone?
Yeah. Your battery's dead too, ain't it?
It shut off.
Clearly, something is in that hole that made me have a weird, like low blood sugar feeling. And I don't know what it was.
We have what we believe to be safe practice.
You could be low in sugar.
The only people that describe low blood sugar like that are people who actually experience low blood sugar, which means this is an ongoing problem that he currently has. he could literally just be having a low blood sugar moment.
And if he's diabetic, he needs to fix that so he doesn't kill himself.
Yeah, that was kind of where I was going with that.
This is here, but there are no guarantees here, and no one knows that better than Tom.
You guys got all the measurements that y'all plan to take up here, right?
We got a good surveillance of the entire ranch at this point. We get that
Really?
done, we can-
Because the entire ranch is a large area.
And then we can get some further analysis and try to.
They did all
get some deeper details.
430
Let's go look at that.
some odd acres in a single day, walking around.
Not even a single day. They're like, the sun angle hasn't really changed much.
And they hardly look like they're even sweating.
Yeah, Joe was pointing out that they're way too clean. There's no way they've surveyed this whole ranch. There's just no way.
They might have been sitting in a trailer at the bottom of the hill, then walked up.
They've been doing archaeology.
Well, we know the other group did because they drove their Jeep up.
That's true. All right. So we're gonna take them at their word that they actually did survey, even though I'm calling a hard yellow flag on that one. Orange. It's an orange flag.
Mystery hole requires a geologist.
Yeah, and we don't even know like how these guys are qualified. Like, who are they? What company do they work for? How are they qualified? If they were on tap, why haven't they done this before? Have they surveyed before and they have previous? I mean, maybe this was the last piece of the ranch that they needed to survey after a long ongoing survey that they have previously done to this point. We don't know any of this, and it's not being offered up as information either. So,
We got a mystery hole.
yeah, mystery hole.
Just start digging it and just make a
I'm
couple
convinced the
seeds
water
out.
came over me while I was down in the cave.
Just go chisel that hole open a little bit further. It'll be fine. Drop a match down there. Nothing bad will happen.
Nothing to do with oxygen deprivation or toxic gas
Serious, I see
levels. Or
pin
oxygen
flags.
meter.
I saw pin flags.
So they were doing something. Maybe they gave them all face wipes before they started filming them. Makeup people.
Was indicating there was plenty of air. But then, all of a sudden, the batteries in our cell phone go dead. Boom, just like that.
We've seen some stuff that we expected to see, some stuff that we didn't expect to see. Our concern seems to be around these underground missions. That's where we're seeing the most of these phenomenons.
I want to tell you, we're still going to be looking for more holes to crawl into, and more things to dig into and look under, and it's possible we'll uncover something that's dangerous, right?
Correct. In some of the confined spaces, those are areas you might want to be aware of when you're working in those areas. But in the open sphere and the ranch and so forth, nothing of concern.
It's okay to walk around out here, we're not getting cooked, but we might find some weird transient things.
Absolutely.
And in that hole, there's something that we can't explain yet.
Right.
So, in summary on the radiation exposures, one of the things we haven't figured out across the entire ranch, and we don't know this, is the exact levels of that. So, we brought something for your guys' team that'll kind of watch you guys on an individual level. This is a dosimeter. This is going to primarily work from a radiologic perspective. If you're getting above the normal background radiation exposure, we want to know. And it's looking for stuff that you are immediately your body.
Are you?
So anything that's really in the window of harmful to humans or impactful to humans, our instrumentation tests will see. Okay, guys, so we'll hand these out to you guys. Travis, there's yours.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Eric, here's yours.
These dosimeters will work like a canary in a coal mine. They're going to be very helpful in alerting us if we run into any more sudden burst of harmful radiation.
We'll lead you out and escort you off the ranch. Thank you again. Appreciate all your time.
Pack up our stuff and we're ready to roll.
Okay, sounds great.
Who are you?
Well, here we are, your second time on. Day 2. We're already experiencing more crazy stuff.
What about Dragon?
Shotgun out. He had a shotgun out. I think he's going to take those guys out around back.
We're gonna escort you off the ranch. You've seen too much, boys.
We'll never be talking about this again.
My cat's getting a timeout.
How rude.
Well, he was being whiny. He has been acting up a bit. But anyway,
Well, yeah, he was watching this.
that's true. That's probably what it was. Please make it stop.
I'm crazy. I was not expecting that at all. I got sick and I felt
Can you hear him?
and lightheaded and dizzy.
The ranch has always responded to new visitors. I didn't expect it to be this quick, though.
Yeah, I didn't expect to see anything, so this is amazing.
It doesn't surprise me, though. I mean, the sinkhole sits is right up above Homestead 2, which has been the reported site of a lot of this paranormal activity that Bigelow team has reported.
Ah, Joe, yes, you've picked up on
In
what the
2016, I
T
purchased the Walker
is.
Ranch from Robert Bigelow. Robert Bigelow is best known as the billionaire entrepreneur, real estate developer, and now aerospace entrepreneur. Mr. Bigelow also had an interest in everything from UFOs to the paranormal. In the early 90s, Robert Bigelow bought Skinwalker Ranch, and his team conducted a very aggressive scientific investigation.
If they did, how come we've never seen this report?
If they did, they would have taken everything.
Who's they? The government?
You know who they are. You know who they are. Top guys.
What? I didn't mean to stop on this picture, people. I'm sorry.
Bigelow team ended up having all sorts of strange things happen. They started seeing everything from electromagnetic anomalies centered around the old homesteads, cattle mutilations. It involves the full gamut of unexplained phenomena that we continue to monitor. Most of what Mr. Bigelow and his team studied and reported on the ranch remains either classified or confidential and is locked away.
He's a private citizen. It's not classified.
You guys got everything?
Thank you.
If we don't, it's a long way back.
You can't classify shit as top secret unless you're the government, which implies the government is involved, which they will tell you is not true, so it's not
All
classified.
you have to do is ask him.
Confidential, perhaps.
Are they walking out with like folding chairs?
I don't know. This is the first time I've seen Dragon without a gun, so I don't know. Is that Dragon? The Dragon or the PI? That's the P. No, the
That's Brain. That's Superintendent.
That's Thomas.
That's Tom. Yeah.
Tom. I'm so giving Tom crap from here on out. Anyway.
Later that day, after we got the all clear that the ranch was safe to explore, Dragon, I guess I'll ride with you.
How long have you people been there without an all clear?
Fashion stakeout near the mesa. And from what I've observed, the mesa is pretty much ground zero for most of the strange activity that's been happening on the ranch. So we're all
Because, you know, astrophysicists are known for their stakeouts.
hoping that by staying up all night, we'll be able to see and record firsthand strange lights and glow effects that people have reported seeing over the years. It's good spot, Zane. First we'll see the mesa, the moon's going to be giving us some backlighting. Let's start grabbing stuff out, putting it up.
It's a full moon, Bill. It's a full moon.
They were folding
Let's start
chairs.
hooking up the
They were folding chairs. You were correct.
Sound system set up. We have a lot of diagnostic equipment. We can measure radio and microwaves. We can measure magnetic fields. We can measure infrared. We've got a lot of different things that we're going to use tonight and see what we can find out.
You can collect as much data as you want. Unless you have an idea of what that data is going to tell you, you're just pissing in the wind with really expensive wiener holders.
All right. Yeah. So here's like a really quick way this thing works. First, you need a question.
Right.
Then you need to develop a methodology that can test that question. Once you've done that, then you look for the equipment that's going to help assist the methodology, which is going to answer or disprove the question. You don't start with step 3.
I mean, this is my problem with ghost hunting. Because ghost hunting,
Question here.
yeah, it starts with 3. It starts on 3 and goes to 4, which is conclusions. And there's, you can't draw a conclusion. You didn't have a question. What are you concluding?
Only ones who can skip steps are the underwear gnomes.
The underwear gnomes. Wow. That's right.
Steal underwear. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Profit.
Profit.
Hey man, people need underwear. That's where that comes from.
Yes.
Look here, watching Aliens, Predator, what?
We're going to hook the cameras up to it so we can look at it on the big screen.
Cool.
So the 512 acres of the ranch are under 24-hour video surveillance
Cool, that
by
screen is going to be
dozens of
sitting up
security and
so
surveillance
much
cameras.
light pollution.
And Eric keeps track of these around the clock and is able to view them from the command center. Hey Eric, are you there?
Eric's the PI.
Okay, so you can see us then?
I can see everything you're doing.
Eric Barr makes sure that pretty much every inch of this ranch is covered by a camera somewhere. Although he can pretty much see everything we're doing tonight from the command center, he won't be able to get the kind of close-up images and information.
This is fucking weird.
This is a show about nothing. I thought Seinfeld was a show about nothing. But this really is a show about nothing.
Yeah, I think there's more of a plot in Oak Island so far that I've watched, which is only the first season.
And if you dig in a hole,
Yeah, and even they've got
that's
a
a plot.
they've got more going on for them than this show. This show is just so all over the place. And God, we're only halfway through it. All right, we can do this. 20 more minutes. We got this.
Information we can get, and he certainly would be able to investigate it as quickly as we can.
Well, certainly.
Let's bring the lights down now, and let's start looking at the mesa in the infrared.
That is so cool. That is really cool.
I mean, I'm not denying that the equipment they have is neat, but
by using an infrared camera, we're going to be able to see things that are further out on that spectrum that we otherwise might not be able to see with our naked eyes.
That monitor is so big. The light pollution.
Yeah.
Thing, let alone the radiation from the mic.
And they've got a satellite dish out there too, so that's pumping out some shit. And the radio,
really close to the
and the radio telescope that they pulled out, because that's not a normal telescope.
And I bet they're all within proximity to. And I'm sure they didn't test their RF switches when they were turning these machines on, just to make sure they weren't interfering with each other.
Well, and you can clearly see there's a camera crew there, because that light that's being shined on the screen right now is coming from somewhere, and they turned off all their lights. So that's from the camera crew. Just saying.
So there's a lot of ambient electromagnetic activity going on right in that base camp.
And I haven't heard anything about them controlling for any of it, like taking prior readings so that they have a baseline for what they're getting ready to examine. There's no talk about that. So
we're having once they've done that, having somebody 50 feet, 100 feet away from them by themselves so they can see if there's discrepancy.
Right. But.
Are you done being annoying?
Aw, are you out of quarantine? Now he's mad at you.
That's a good view right there. That's a really good view. Hey, Jim's got the laser.
So I'm going to go walk out here with the laser.
Yep.
And there's a laser.
Yep.
We brought a very large green laser that allows us to light up a beam all the way up to the mesa.
You can put the laser spot right there, then I'll look right at the spot.
I won't hurt anybody. That way we can focus our infrared cameras on that spot so we know exactly where we are.
Perfect.
And God help you if you're a small animal in the way of that thing.
Yeah.
Did you need night vision? Sorry, go on.
Yeah, they don't need the green laser if they're using infrared.
You're not going to see the green laser on the infrared, so how are you going to use it with the infrared to be able to pinpoint? Because the green won't show up. So what is the point?
You can see it with the regular cameras.
Yeah, but you could have used a red one. You could have just used... never mind. Anyway.
Right there. There it is. There's two.
Oh, no, they are picking it up.
Do that again.
It's a reflection.
When we shine the laser on the mesa and saw it in the image of the camera, we also noticed there was a smaller image just above it.
That is so weird.
Do you want to go for this one?
Yeah, they're seeing this on the camera, not with their naked eyes, right?
Yeah.
So the first option is this is a reflection off the camera right back to the mesa, because what they were shooting seemed to be a very powerful laser. Otherwise, it's just a reflection there.
It's just reflection. It's all that.
It's reflection.
It's all that light pollution Bill was just talking about. They're creating anomalies because they don't know what they're doing, and they didn't control for any of it.
Yeah, well, yeah, they didn't control for the weather that night. They were worried about what kind of humidity they had, to know how much water was in the atmosphere.
I mean, there's a reason why you can't do certain types of ground penetrating radars after rain and stuff, because the water will bounce the signal back up and it's useless.
And it's nothing special when it is absolutely mimicking.
Yeah, exactly. It's clearly a I mean, maybe they'll come to that conclusion on their own, but... Ooh, it's raining outside. It's probably a rainbow.
What the heck is that? You know what it is? It's reflecting off of the surface.
How is it doing that?
The actual laser spot that's coming back into the camera is the little one. We need to go up there and look at it.
Hey, Eric, you copy? I do. You interested in going up on the major while you guys...
You're never gonna find it. And why are you calling Eric all the way out there?
Ready, man? Yeah, let's do it. Okay, go.
What's the point of having everybody on the crew out there?
An hour.
I just...
Also, why, once again, hard to control and observation, why wasn't there somebody at the mesa to confirm any phenomena that were being viewed through equipment
I mean, they clearly have the manpower or the ability to hire the manpower to cover that. Oh my god, we're never getting through this stupid thing, are we? Drive, Eric, drive.
Turn my headlamp on. Alright, let's go.
That's way more than a headlamp light.
It's like walking on Mars or something. The rocks in the soil of the Skinwalker Ridge Mesa have an extremely high amount of some kind of crystalline material. So I'm wondering if there's a reflection happening up on the mesa that's causing the laser beam to split into 2 points of light instead of 1. There are these little white discs everywhere. I don't know what it is.
Micah.
You're getting...
Here, this takes 2 seconds. Turn off your headlamps. Turn the light back on. Do you see anything?
No, Bill, that's not how that works. We have to take completely different equipment out there and try to half-assedly recreate the phenomena that we saw using completely different circumstances. It's the only way to verify this.
And I don't want to see this astrophysicist embarrass himself clumsily trying to explain soil science.
I don't even think he's going to try. Like, that didn't even sound like an attempt. That was like, this is their soil. It's got some stuff in it. It's called mica, probably. Or quartz. I mean, probably both, maybe, possibly. Feldspar. Anyway. Look.
Oh no, turn and
Don't
set
slip
right
and
here.
fall.
Alright, and now I'm gonna kill this light.
Look, they've got the reflection there.
Does the laser seem like it lost intensity?
The laser's lost power.
Whoa, where'd that laser go?
And it went out just now.
Radio back to and ask them if they're doing something to the laser.
Hey, Travis?
Yeah, go ahead, Jim.
So we're... Before the light went out, the laser light went out.
You were standing exactly where the main glow of the laser was.
On the screen.
Really?
That's correct.
I'll go back up there, see what's going on.
Hold on, guys.
Move your foot, see if it comes back on.
Why is he crawling up into the hunter
I just
blind?
replaced the batteries in this laser. There's
Oh.
no way that it's the batteries that are causing it to malfunction. I tried everything to get it to come back on again, but it's just one of those million things that happens at Skinwalker Ranch. Buttons pushed in and everything. It's dead.
Hey, Travis?
Yeah, go ahead, Jenny.
A laser that's going to produce an image as big as they had there is only going to run for a few minutes.
And they've been
Unless
out there
you
for
had a generator.
hours.
Unless they had a generator running next to it.
No, it was just like a little gun sight. Anyway.
The laser is dead. I think it's crazy that as soon as we got...
All he did was pick it up, look at it once, and went, yep, it's dead.
Unfortunately,
He didn't do anything to it to try to figure out why it's not working.
Let's carefully make our way back down the ridge.
Turn your headlights back
The
on, you
laser experiment was
idiots.
inconclusive, but what we did discover with this experiment is that the mesa is highly reflective. Now that's interesting, especially since we've seen in the past the mesa seeming to glow and there being beams of light coming up from the mesa. There's something to this place, I just don't know what it is.
Whoa, look at that.
I could have told you by the sort of
Not reflective.
coloration of the soil without even knowing the material of the soil that it's reflective. It's lightly colored.
I don't have words at this point. Like, I've run out of words. This is usually at the point where I like rage quit watching these things, so we're gonna push.
Flickering. Hey guys, we just noticed on the screen here a second ago. You see the glow, the flicker up behind there?
Yeah, it's flickering, kind of flashing behind it or something.
What does it look like on infrared?
It looks like the whole top of the mountain is glowing.
Yeah, it's almost like the outline of it.
Wow. I mean, it's clearly doing something.
It kind of looks like the
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Like a growl.
Not that
Yeah.
old chestnut. Did you hear that, Ruther?
Right. Being out here in the wilderness, it's not unusual to hear growls and strange noises and stuff.
Yes, it is. There's a million of you. No animal in its right mind is coming near you.
Well, look, the top looks less like a silhouette now than it did before. It's right here, right?
Yeah.
Until I came to the ranch, I didn't really believe the stories I'd heard about strange lights coming off the mesa. Now I'm seeing this thing glow at night with my own eyes. This isn't just a story. This isn't some special effect or a hoax. This mesa is really glowing.
So, you know what we should do is we should scan across the mesa and see if we see something else with the camera.
Well, we better hurry because the sun's
coming up soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Because you wasted all night driving to the mesa.
Gee, I wonder why the mesa's slowly getting lighter if the sun is coming up. They do understand how light travels, right?
But that's the opposite direction. And they also mentioned that the moon is very full tonight. So, do you not understand the moon also moves?
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is like the point where I
We
get...
still haven't disputed the, the used car lot.
There probably is a used car lot over there, too. You know what it is? And this is me just completely making shit up, but it's actually all them there Navajo that they keep talking about, just fucking with them.
Trying to chase them off the land. Like, we're gonna scare these, right off.
Scare these white boys off. Them city folk. God. Anyway.
Let's do that. Let's go.
Yeah, scan it with your other thing.
Look at that.
See on the top of that?
Yeah, the top's glowing like crazy. Look at that.
It's like the whole top of the ridge is outlined in chalk. All right. So
Look, it's flashing. Look, it is flashing behind that big time. That cloud is pulsing like crazy.
Maybe it's your refresh rate.
Look at that.
The interesting thing is it almost looks like it's a lot more defined here than it is with the naked eye.
Oh, look. You see that?
That's a definite beam.
It's like a beam that came right up from the ground.
Now.
Did you guys see that? Yeah.
Did you see that?
Well, that's why your clouds are glowing.
Back and forth at the infrared camera, then back and forth at the mesa to see what's going on, and then we noticed out of the ground in front of the mesa, this beam comes up through the sky and tracks something. There it is again. It is clearly a beam going across there. There's something clearly over the ridge.
you think that's coming from behind?
What is that?
Have they never gone over the ridge?
No.
Like, have they never looked on what's on the other side of that fucking ridge? Like, ever? Hey.
That time you see it sweep.
Well, and you can't see anything from looking at it here.
Where's the guy in
It's
his
only
helicopter?
infrared.
He might be back
So
there.
we're out here on-
Here, there's the sun.
On the mesa, investigating the strange lights and the glowing effects that other people have been reporting over the years. What's interesting is that we can't see these light beams when we look at the mesa with our naked eyes. We can only see them with the infrared camera. We should be looking.
Well, they might be infrared.
Right now, something's happening.
That's also a red flag.
What are we doing with this?
When you can only see images through an infrared camera, and none of you are physicists who is focused on light
Yeah.
and the interpretation of the light spectrum and how it's being captured, to know what that source is. Because, like right now, there may be a beam, but it's of a spectrum that's not normally visible.
Right, that's why the IR is picking it up, because it's outside of the human sight. Anyway.
Measure electromagnetic energy or frequencies. And with this board,
And that guy is a
is
physicist.
to isolate to one single direction or one plane.
That's
We
why I
can
have
find out if the
qualified with what specializes in light.
Are they just putting tinfoil on a board?
Yeah, they're now going to try something.
Are they...
Instead of driving up there and looking at it
Clearly they can drive up there. They've shown that they can,
really fast while the sun's coming up.
right?
Concealing infrared monitor is connected to any kind of RF or radio frequency radiation. This experiment will help us determine the direction of the radiation that we're detecting now, and maybe help us find the direction of the source.
All right,
How?
so I would say we hold it up about waist high. Right, that's good. Now, Jim, there you go. All right. Sweet. There you go, good. And keep sweeping, starts to dropping off. Right?
The tri-field meters are little RF radios with a little antenna, just like your FM and AM radio in your car or at home or wherever. It's a tuner.
Yep, it's dropping. All right, so it's not coming from that direction, so let's go the other way. Rotate the other way now.
And
They're using it as an amplifier for their little handheld devices,
Shouldn't it have been shaped in a cone
right? And worn on the
that
head.
kind of could have fit in? That way that they wouldn't have to worry about carrying it.
They then become the amplifier.
Yes.
And this thing's set to listen to like all the channels at once and just measure the signal. It's coming from right at where we saw that flash. Keep coming around. All right, now it's dropped off again. The interesting thing is when we pointed the RF meter in a certain direction with the reflector behind it, it maxed out. That tells us kind of the direction the big fields are coming from. I mean, it's coming from that direction where we saw that beam. That's pretty significant right there.
That's not how that works.
We're measuring nearly 10 milliwatts per meter squared. The microwave spikes that we're reading are getting on the level of standing by the microwave a few feet with the door open, but it's still working. That's dangerous levels.
Yeah, what was that beam that we saw?
What was that beam? There's something here on this ranch that's broadcasting microwaves, and they at times reach powers that's like a microwave oven.
And it's not Wi-Fi. It's not normal
It's not cell phones. It's not. Yeah, it's
You have no idea because you haven't ruled any of that out.
Can we, like, fire the physicist here? And
The
hire some
scientist?
That understand and some that understand microwaves, since it appears to be microwaves are the actual issue. And they don't have to build at-home experimental devices. They can find the sources of these microwaves.
There's
If they
equipment
just-
you could use that would be a hell of a lot more accurate, and you don't have to wait till the dead of night to use it.
something different. All of this is real unusual. That's to me. It's
So you should totally put it face down in the grass. It won't get damaged at all.
You're right.
My head is killing me.
Is it?
Yeah, right here. It's exactly the spot. My head is hurting bad.
Of course it is.
It's just right here. Like, it's right here.
That's not all right.
It's just throbbing.
Thanks, Dragon.
Is that section right there?
Is that the pain? No, that's
It's not the same pain I felt, but it's like throbbing bad.
That's 6 months though. So let's get you the heck out of
The
here.
implant. His brain, he had to swallow things because he had the implant.
It's the alien eggs. They're ready to hatch.
Well, that could be it too. A little Star Trek 2 action,
Yeah.
right through the air.
Right there. Oh, God. I remember that movie. Ha ha. That gave me nightmares for years. Anyway.
Seriously.
We're almost done.
Are we?
Come on, dude. Let's go. Come on.
If you didn't want to leave, why did you bitch?
Damn it.
It's nothing to with.
I'm extremely worried about Thomas right now. I have no idea how serious his injury could be.
So what if anybody else gonna come?
So the guy who's their security just left him.
Yeah, with the guy who's the one that's actually in charge of everything. So, whatever. Nothing bad could possibly happen.
I don't know. They almost lost Thomas once out here before I got here, and now I get here to do an experiment. I would hate to think that I did something that put him in harm's way.
You didn't, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting to get that right at the end of the night.
Did they just leave all of their equipment out there?
He should go to the emergency room, I think.
Yeah.
Just
That's
over a
what the
little bit.
PA's for.
Right there.
Dragon, Tom.
Yeah. He's in here.
Right there. That's where it looks a little bit.
Is his brain bulging out of his head?
Or just
So not.
So when out there it was right here, and now it's just right here.
Are any of them a doctor?
Yep, there is.
There you are. You tried to run away from me.
Goddamn camera? I didn't even touch it this time. It's
I was
the...
like, going to say,
Go ahead.
there's two PhDs in the room, so yeah, there's two doctors. I know, we start that internet conversation again.
Drink more water. Joe says...
That's always good advice.
Joe says, did you just pulled an all-nighter and you have a headache? Gasp! And then we were told to drink more water. Drink more water. Or in your case, drink your urine bottle. It like faded out in your background. That was awesome. That's not water, that was Coke.
We're not playing a game here. This happened. We saw phenomena, and the same symptoms are occurring when they put him in the hospital for a week, and there's no reason for us to talk about it any further.
They show's over after week 2.
Bizarre. I don't know what to say about it. Bizarre.
Bizarre is not the word. It's scary.
Nothing is
I think
happening.
I should probably call Brandon.
We can call the owner of the ranch when someone's been injured entered on the ranch.
Is this how he's going to be in every episode?
Hey, Brandon. So, I got Eric here with me. It's kind of an urgent matter I wanted to talk to you about real quick.
Right?
So, as you know, we had the team out last night. We were finishing up our last experiment, and we started picking up really heavy RF signals and things like that like we have previously.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Tom Winterton started saying that he had a headache, and then reached back to the spot on the back of his head where he previously had a serious injury and said he was having pain there again.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it was apparent that we really couldn't risk things, so Caleb actually grabbed him and drove him to the emergency room to have more testing.
Trying to pull
I can't believe that Tom's in the emergency room.
What?
Is he trying to pull that workman's comp bullshit again?
I know, could this guy sound like less like he gives a shit?
That dude has me rattled.
That's why he had to put Tom.
Really troubling.
I think it is. I want to understand what's going on, but not at the expense of more episodes like this.
You know, Tom, that guy you hired? Oh, Tom, yeah.
It would do it. That's what kills me, Brandon. I'm armed to the teeth, and I feel like I might as well be carrying a fly swatter.
I'm armed to the teeth, and I feel like I might as well be carrying a fly swatter.
You know what? That's very prophetic given the current condition in this country. Once again, Dragon's a poet.
Fair.
Given, like, the pandemic we're in right now,
Maybe.
all of your might and your muscle mean nothing in the face of a small, tiny parasite.
What is it, I have become like God, the destroyer of worlds. How's that go?
Yes, I'm waiting till the end of the season when the tie-in Dragon Book of Quotes comes out so we can give everybody for Christmas presents.
I would buy that book. I would buy that book.
And of course the book would be called No Dig.
Yeah, I told them not to dig.
I mean, it's beyond frustrating to me.
Right.
All I know is that
Right.
people are getting hurt, and we've got to figure out why the hell that is
No
happening.
one's gotten hurt yet.
I agree. Eric, Dragon, I need to get out there immediately. Let's pull everyone together.
I think that's a good idea.
Keep me posted.
I will.
Thank you.
See you.
Everybody's in the same
What we've
room.
learned.
Thank you.
Ranch is if you don't
I am become death, the destroyer of
and
worlds.
reverence and care for it, bad things happen.
Yes, it was Dr. Oppenheimer after they created the atomic bomb.
I think the right strategy is to observe them.
The fact that Thomas has suffered another injury related to the one that almost took his life, it makes me quite question if any of us...
Nothing. You don't even know what's wrong with him
Before
yet.
I came here to Skinwalker Ranch, I really didn't believe the stories I heard. UFOs, cattle mutilations, shape-shifting animals, it all seemed too bizarre. But now that I've been here and seen things firsthand, I can't shake the feeling that something very strange really is happening
I
here.
think we're doing a wrap up.
What's causing it?
Yep.
Where is it coming from?
Don't care. Credits. Alright.
We don't know what's going to happen next week.
Do you really want me to play the last
All right.
minute and a half of it? Minute.
No, instead I'm going to go over the one and only Reddit thread about episode 2.
Clearly it's still popular on Reddit.
The problem with the science on Skinwalker Ranch. Let me start by saying I am not saying anything has or has not, will or won't happen at the ranch. I have no problem with anyone believing whatever they want at the land. But I have problems with science to show. I am a geologist at the University of Utah. This to say, I am very familiar with the rocks in the area to the point of our field camps was on the exact same rock layer the ranch contains, as well as the hazards of the region. My father, who I watched the show with, is a retired electrical engineer specializing in microwaves and radio waves, who since his retirement has become an international syndicated photographer. I give you this very long-winded background for qualifications because there are 4 major things that we have problems with from this last episode.
Only 4?
2 of which are very blatant misuse of data, and 2 that we believe to be downright fake. The first is how they portrayed VOCS. According to the show, they had in the ballpark of 3,200 PPE, which is the wrong format for the information, so not off to a great start. The level should be denoted in ppm at 3.2 ppm. They did not show us the tech. They got to get this. They got to get this, but there are really only two up. Either they had a spectrometer, in which case there are only a few VOCs, which this level would be high enough to raise any problems. It is quite normal to see in this part of the world. Or what I suspect, they measured the total VOC, which the only people that use total VOC are people who sell air purifiers.
Good to know.
To the point that no scientific body, to my knowledge, has set a safety limit of total VOC. Since, as I said before, there are over 1,000 different VOCs, each with different safe levels. So the total safe level can change drastically based on which chemicals are palletized. The only safety scale that I questioned this guy's stuff here, writing this, because he's not using periods in his sentences.
He's not using what?
Periods in his sentences.
Oh, I hate that.
It's just rhyming up. Alright, anyway, where was I?
Yeah, that's usually a red flag. No punctuation. Are they capitalized?
Let's go on to the second issue. No caps. The measurement of radio waves. To start, every single radio wave measuring device in the world is orthogonal. So the aluminum foil reflector is unnecessary. Oh, meaning it's going to point in a direction.
Right.
And most likely would have invalidated the equipment. With the poor quality of the reflector they made and the crude measuring, it's impossible to know how much of the radio wave it would have bounced back into the reader against it, again invalidating the equipment. But in any case, that does not change how bad and wrong the host's explanation of it at the end. He very clearly stated that they were getting a measurement of 10 MW over M square, and he very clearly said that was dangerous level. The safe level for radio wave is 10 MW over TM squared. For those who missed, that's the exact same thing.
So it was safe.
If you go, it's the exact same as safe radio wave. If you go by what he said, they got a 0.001 MW over CM2 squared, which is well below safe limits and is one of the quietest places in the world. Which makes sense, since as there is a radio testing facility 50 miles from the ranch that was built there because the area is so quiet.
Wait,
now
that explains the beam.
That could also explain the beam.
It does. They were picking up the radio waves.
I mean, depending on which direction. I mean, we don't know where they, we don't know the geography and what's north and south in relation to this.
Yeah.
Tower.
I guarantee you they're picking up the radio waves from the radio station on their IR. I know it sounds weird, but it can be done.
Okay. And you could also get microwaves because towers send microwaves to other towers.
So they're getting interference from all of the other technology that's around them that they have neglected to mention is there.
Well, it's not that much, really, because it isn't a quiet spot.
That's true.
Which means anything stands out.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, so now on to what they believe to be fake. At the very end, they show the flashing mountains. The entire frame is slowly flashing. We come up with two ways that could produce this effect. Either they are turning the white balance up and down, which would explain why the clouds show up a larger change than the rocks do. Or every professional cameraman will have some sort of polarized light filter on their camera. All they would need to do is have the cameraman rotate the filter, and it would create the exact effect we see on the screen.
Wow.
The final problem we have is with the laser beam that shoots up the hill. Lasers are designed so that all of the light coming out of it goes in the exact same direction. So that's impossible to achieve, so you will get a tiny amount of spread. But at that distance, they are shooting that beam. They are not going to get anywhere close to the amount of spread that shows on the hill.
Thank you.
That's what I talked about where he's standing. And it looks to be about 1.5 feet diameter.
Yeah.
That's just too big of a
Yeah.
spot there. So they recreated it with
a different light.
Because most likely it was not that was invisible. They couldn't find it.
Right.
Or it wasn't photogenic.
Probably wasn't photogenic enough, and so they fucked with it. Well, so what do we think of episode 2?
I gotta find my way off this hellhole.
Did you not take enough rations? Do you need some more MREs?
No. I'm gonna go hit the break room.
Raid the break room when no one's looking?
I realized after the second day, I can just walk around. Nobody knows who anybody's name is around here. So they just assume you work here.
You're just telling everybody your name's Dragon?
Yeah. I confused Dragon the first time. But he's okay with it now.
Wait. Okay, hey.
Wait a minute, if I'm you, then I trust you.
I know, right? I could see that working on that poor guy, the way he's being portrayed. Anyway. This show is really slow. And...
It is. I mean, if I'm judging this from, Reddit, they're not catching fire.
Oh, they're, yeah. I'm sure Jason has, view numbers, because he's been tracking that on a lot of the shows that he reviews now. So I will be interested to see how the view numbers are plummeting. And considering most of us can't go anywhere right now, getting eyeballs on the screen shouldn't be difficult. So that'll tell you a lot.
I mean, who's their lead-in?
I don't know, because I only watch this on the internet.
It's a Tuesday at 10, I think.
Yeah, it's a terrible time slot on top of everything else. Thank you,
but
Joe.
A strong lead-in at 9.
It's probably either Oak Island or Aliens. It's History Channel. Maybe Nazis?
Well, if it's Oak Island, they might get, it's the target demographic fell asleep, left TV on.
I mean, yeah. This is... I don't know. It's a very slow show. They have a lot of what I would consider dead air on this show. If I were GMing this session, I would have prodded the hell out of my players to make a decision, as I have done, and will continue to do, because this is boring, and shit has to be done.
I don't know how many episodes they were scheduled to do.
6?
But I'm going to guess they cut 3 off.
Or they'll only release them online. They've done that before in the past, too. So... Alright, final thoughts?
The pacing is horrible.
The pacing's terrible. It's not suspenseful at all. And the cliffhanger episode, the cliffhanger bullshit is just... No one cares.
I mean, the way they framed it, dude's got a headache.
Yeah. I mean... And there's any number of reasons why the guy has a headache. And there's also no correlation between... the weird swelling thing that happened to his head and anything that happened out there.
I mean, what are they trying for? supernatural,
They don't even know.
alien.
They're all over the damn place. The only thing that they have the only two things they have consistently stuck with is alien sightings, but no alien contact, just alien sightings, and this Navajo curse on the land. Those are the only two things that they have. Now, they've only been 2 episodes, but they're consistent with those 2 theories in exclusion to everything else. That and shadow people out at Homestead 2.
Yeah, but that was only sort of dropped. That wasn't really dwelled on.
Yeah, they really didn't do much to explore on that.
But there was one thing they are consistent with. Phenomenon.
I wonder if I can get that and use that as intro music. Or maybe I could just record myself doing it and then it's copyright free because it's me. Alright, Bill.
But that's parody.
Yeah. Parody's covered by copyright. But anyway, thank you for joining me on this. I hope to see you again next Wednesday when we try to watch episode 3. Until you give up on this, I'm going to continue to inflict this on you because it makes me feel better. And I hope everybody who was watching enjoyed this. And like I said, an edited version of this will be up on YouTube in a few weeks. So a week, 2 weeks, because I'm going to put the first episode up today, or Friday. Anyway, talk to everybody later. Bill, thank you again, and see everybody at tea tomorrow at 3.
Bye-bye.